Hello, it's Rachel. I'm here to do a review of Naomi Season 1, Episode 11. This episode was primarily about Nathan and Naomi's relationship, and if I'm being completely honest, I don't like Nathan that much. But don't misunderstand me. While I don't like Nathan, I'm not going to jump down his throat over anything he's done. Most of the reason I dislike him is because I really dislike when characters are jealous and they make their insecurity another character's issue, because I think it's just shitty behavior that can be fixed pretty easily with communication. So I found it really, really annoying to see him being such an asshole to Anthony for literally no reason other than the fact that it was obvious that Anthony liked Naomi and that Naomi potentially reciprocated that. But all this being said, I do understand that Nathan is an insecure teenager himself. So, I don't think people should be jumping down his throat or attacking him for that. His feelings are normal. I just wish he handled them differently than he did. But I do also have to admit that he's been a pretty solid boyfriend to Naomi since they got back together, and I've enjoyed him a lot more since he and Anthony somewhat bonded a few episodes ago. So I think it was fair of him to want answers relating to Naomi hiding all of this alien stuff. Like a couple episodes ago at that party that Naomi had for her parents, when Naomi confronted Nathan about him lying and insisted that he could come to her and tell her anything. And he was still reluctant to share the secret because he rightfully brought up that it's obvious that Naomi had been withholding things from him. And even as someone who doesn't ship them, that conversation was rough because obviously as an audience member we understand why Naomi's hesitant to disclose that she's an alien. But Nathan's right, she can't be demanding he gives her answers about stuff when she's keeping him in the dark about things herself. There has to be reciprocity there. But given she'd been withholding the secret about being alien for a while, I'm extremely relieved that Nathan had such a good reaction. He just immediately pulls Naomi into a hug and starts to comfort her. And then when they're talking with Jacob and Annabelle, Nathan's just immediately on board with whatever they're planning to do because he just trusts Naomi so much. And that was really refreshing, because normally when someone finds out about the significant other having, or potentially not even a significant other, but the love interest having powers or crime fighting or whatever, usually they freak out. So it was really nice that Nathan just immediately was there for her and trusted Naomi. Given that clearly there's being some kind of standoff with Brutus set up for the 2-part finale next week, I really hope this means that Lourdes and Anthony find out, especially since it seems unlikely we're going to get a season 2. Given Batwoman got canceled last week, I find it hard to believe Naomi will survive. The stakes of the episode were really good though, because Naomi's at prom, there's a force field around the school, so no one can leave or enter. And so then Naomi goes to Julian, one of Brutus's trusted associates, and he puts her in the situation of, you have to save your friends who know the truth about you, or you have to save the rest of the students in the school. And it was just such a heartbreaking situation, and Casey did such an amazing job selling the emotion of the scene. I was kind of surprised that when Naomi explained the situation, that Nathan was telling her to let the 3 of them go and save the rest of their classmates. On the one hand, yes, it obviously makes sense given his mom is in the military, so it makes sense that he would have that mindset. But on the other hand, it was just like shocking and depressing that he was so ready to accept dying. But then thankfully Jacob butts in with like, hey, this is a dead man switch, which means it's not instantaneous. So maybe there's a possibility you can save both. And I think this was literally the perfect way for Naomi to discover her super speed, because it would obviously have to be something high stakes to like make her tap into that. I was ecstatic about that scene, and I think it was just like so incredible that she saved everyone on her own. I'm sure between her fight with Mac last week and her succeeding in saving both groups of people is going to really build her confidence for the fight against Brutus next week, so I'm very excited to see how that plays out. The episode then ends with Naomi and Nathan deciding to break up because Naomi tells him that she can't stand the thought of Nathan being in danger because of her. So, as I did preface at the beginning of this, I don't like Nathan that much. But even so, this was really sad because it's very obvious that they care for each other a lot. And so, like, on the one hand, I'm glad he accepted the clean break. But on the other hand, like, while it does make sense for someone in a superhero show with powers to, like, want to put distance between themselves and the people they care about, I'm so tired of will they, won't they writing. And, like, maybe this isn't the best example to be complaining about the will they, won't they trope, because Naomi and Nathan are teens, so, like, it would make sense for them to break up and meet new people. Because you're very young when you're in high school. But at least to me, it feels like the show's been kind of heavy-handed about Nathan and Naomi being set up to be like the endgame ship. So it's just like, can I please get a ship that becomes canon and then they stay canon and don't break up, and just whatever hardships come their way, they just work together through it? Because I'm so tired of the back and forth. Like, I know a lot of people like slow burns, but they drive me crazy. Maybe one day I'll talk about why I don't like them, but that's for another video if I decide to do that. But anyway, enough of me lamenting about writers being boring and predictable and this will they, won't they nonsense, which is obviously much less an issue with Naomi the show and more me lamenting about television in general. For the most part, I did enjoy this episode quite a bit. Not enough D, in my opinion, but as this took place in the school, it makes sense that D would not play a prominent role in the episode. As usual, if you want to chat about the episode, please leave a comment below, because I'd love to continue talking about it. Well, I'd love to continue talking about the show overall. And I'll see you guys next week for the 2-hour finale. Bye.